heaven works backwards has been a theme. When we're in heaven, we're going to look back and see that the agonies were glories all along, and that the reality of heaven was there all along. We just couldn't see it. Eternity's been wired into me, just the thoughts and longings, I think probably over the last 10 or 15 years. It's interesting, there's a part of it that's almost intimidating now. And that's a strange thing to say when I have longed for it so much. You know, I feel like I've invested so much and then I've squandered so much. The reality is so near and so real now that I'm sobered by entering in and realizing how much might burn up and not be the gold that remains. But when I start going there in a dark way, Jesus reminds me it's covered. This is good news, you know, despite my failures, despite the things that I would love to have a do-over and maybe the regrets. The gospel is the hope of entering into Jesus' presence without shame, without fear. It's a sealed deal, and I'm forgiven and I'm accepted and loved, and as the Father loves Jesus, he loves me. What? Just the oneness with Christ and with the Trinity that we experience because he took our sin and did away with it and doesn't see us through it. And I see myself through my sin often, but just to think that he sees me through Christ, and when I enter eternity, I don't enter judgment. Like, that's incredible. You know, that new life, this is the beginning of it, and it's going to explode into being when I enter on the other side. I've even written on eternity just like the things that I imagine, the food that I'll get to enjoy finally after all these years of having to be so strict about my diet and deny myself all these foods I want to eat. Like, I'm going to get to feast. And the people, you know, just pure joy and no relational conflict and strains, or no warring against my sin on a daily basis. Like, what in the world? That's going to be insane just to be free of my sin. And so, yeah, there's so much about it that is very more real than ever. I think songs like "Be Still, My Soul" brings that heavenly reality into song. Like, I can be still in my soul because God is good and he's with me, and he's designing these things for pure joy. So that song's been precious, and I started singing it over Jeremy when he was a newborn because it was so rich with truth and hope, but also so real. It was so real about, hey, it's rough here. This side of eternity is rough, but there's joy. There's joy waiting for us.